Good morning. Sorry, I was on the call with my seller. We got an offer overnight and we're just reviewing that. Hi, Heather. How are you?
I am doing
Good
good. How are
morning.
you?
Sorry, I was on the call with my seller. We got
Oh,
an
we
offer
are
overnight
echoing.
oh, and we're just reviewing that. Hi, Heather. How are you? I was like,
I
oh,
am doing
good
good. How are
morning.
you?
Why are we call echoing? With my seller. I'm like, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. It's the last call of the year and exciting stuff. The new year is upon us. We're going to keep today short and sweet. Um, so hi, Heather. How are you?
I am doing good this morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So how is your transition going? How's your move going?
So far so good. I have my lovely fingerprints and background scheduled for this Friday. So that
Yeah.
will, I think, take a bit, I think like approximately 2 weeks. Hopefully less. But we know with the holiday how that goes. So once that's done,
Yeah.
I will have my cleared to test and then we'll be able to test. So I'm just
That's
hitting the flashcards hard, you guys.
Isn't it funny how like each state does something different?
Oh my gosh. Louisiana, I have totally used our network to reach out and get with some local girls here because yeah, the laws in Louisiana are so much different because it's like the one-off state where it is not common.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it is. It's really funny. We definitely, and we have that down here too. There's some weird little nuances with all of those laws. So we like to make sure that we know them. And it's so great that you have that instant network to go to, which is huge.
Yeah, and I have definitely utilized what we have learned here with you guys, as far as reaching out to, what I can do within the legal limits. So not providing information or services as a realtor, but utilizing, the senior resources. So
Yeah,
I do have yeah, I've got the other certification as the placement specialist. I have my LO, so there's other resources I'm able to provide, which has been super useful as with the transition. So
absolutely. I love
yeah,
that. I love that. So 2026 is going to be really fun for you.
we're starting off hot, and I am completely on board and ready to start referring back and forth because now I'm closer to you, my friend.
I know. This is super fun. Um, I'm gonna send you a quick link. We have to uh jump on a call to talk about you and I do, Miss Heather, to talk about Sora AI training and what that's gonna look like. Some
Yes,
help. So do a
yeah,
demo on
super
that
fun.
for everyone. So I just messaged you my calendar link. Um, if we could get on a call next week to kind of review that. I think that's going to be really helpful. I tried to jump onto SOAR and I just got fed up. So I was like, I need to talk to Heather.
Yep, no
So
worries. I've got you, girl.
that would be really helpful. So let's get a call together for that because I'm just going off of my notes from our last call that we had 2 weeks ago because we missed last week because of, Christmas Eve. And so that was an awesome call. We had a lot of input from all of our folks who are on, and we have some to do work on it. In between all of this, I don't know if I had mentioned to everyone, I had gone for a CEU on staging and design. And it was actually very helpful for what we are doing. And so I'm going to speak to the folks at the staging CEU class that we did to see if we could bring that here. Would everyone be interested in that? The
Definitely.
staging CEU was the staging class, and we got certified in it. It was about 3 hours long. it was very informative of, I've been doing staging since I started, right? But I learned so much in those 3 hours onto how to properly charge for it, where to find resources for things. I mean, it was like jam packed with everything that I think would be super helpful for what we're doing with seniors. So I'm going to talk to that group about, maybe doing something for us. If
That
you,
sounds really interesting from the point of view of oftentimes we have houses that are dated
yes.
and and trying to figure out. So I've got a seller that I'm working with. She's been in her house
Hmm.
since the day of the moon landing in 1969.
Linda, that's
And she
amazing.
did a major remodel of the kitchen, but the bathrooms have a dated feel.
Hmm.
And it to me, the staging ties into how do we suggest and recommend which pieces to update, where to put money, how to look at that piece of it. So that sounds really interesting to me.
Yeah. It was more than just like, how do you put stuff here and there? It was,
Yeah.
I mean, it was very in depth. And we talked about the decluttering section that we're all been working on. And then it also talked about paint and updates and the things that make the most impact for you, like a faucet. I mean, things that we may not know of, which I found would be really helpful for everyone. Because right now I'm going through the same thing with a condo that we just painted, and we used one of the preferred paint colors, which was funny, which is Sherwin-Williams Alabaster. Write that down. And I also like Snowbound as well. Snowbound can be on the gray side. And so it depends on the tone of the house, but Alabaster is pretty much neutral and it picks up colors around it to soften it or brighten it, which is really interesting. And I'm a Sherwin-Williams fan for paint anyways. But let me see, I have my paint swatches here. But it just gave some really, really, really good info for us. And how many of you have one of these in your home, like me?
Me, got one
I
in my truck too.
yeah, I was like, I have it in my home. So it is really, really, really helpful to know these things off the top of your head, so you're not going through and trying to take the guesswork out of everything. So it was really helpful for myself and my team because we work with our seniors all the time, and we just have to sometimes be quicker rather than not quicker on things and just really move forward as fast as possible.
And would that conversation include things like how do I source the faucets and the bathroom flooring materials? Like how does that get like how do we get involved in that decision making and selection of things would be really helpful for me.
Yep, absolutely. So there's all these tips and tricks that they have, which I think is really helpful. Um, and I think it would really help. So it just gave us some more direction on how to do it. And if you are, and I've said this before, if you are doing this, it's a good idea to have a separate LLC. That was their advice. That's always been my advice. I don't run it through my real estate LLC. I have a separate LLC for downsizing. And it just helps to keep it clean, which I think is very helpful. And it's easier for you to keep track of everything. So it's not kind of commingled with your commissions, right? And they gave a bunch of different scenarios on that as well. Um, And this is exciting stuff right now because 2026 is going to be here before we know it. And I have my big calendar up. So I've already started blocking out I got the calendar from Jesse Eisner, the big ass calendar. And I started blocking off when my conferences are this year, the 2 that I'm going to, when my vacations are, when my speaking engagements are. And I just have this huge calendar. It's like 50 by 30 inches. I don't know if I'm able to on the wall. Let me see if I can take a picture of it with my phone to show you. And I just started, see if you can see that. I just started with it. I'm like, oh, it's not working. Just to block it off so that every day that I come in, I'm not overcommitting. I've been asked to do a lot of vendor fairs, health fairs, senior fairs, and sometimes they're on a day that I've already committed to speak at. So we don't want to double book. And I'm not a fan of doing a speaking engagement in the morning and a health fair in the afternoon. It's just too much because how are you going to do proper follow-up, right? I'm a very visual person. I need to see everything out in front of me. I've tried desktop calendars. I've tried personal calendars. They don't work for me because I can't see it at a glance. So I'm giving this a try, and it seems to be helping me keep that, on board and make sure I have all my holidays on there and my birthdays for our family and making sure that I'm like on target for this year. Because if you're part of our membership and if you're part of the member classes that we are the directive that I'm helping our students with is you want to plan 3 events a year. Three events a quarter, sorry. So one's a speaking event for educational. One's a fun event. Could be a networking fun event. Or a happy hour at a senior living community, right? And then one is like a vendor fair or an expo. Something of that nature so that you are planning something just about every month. So it just makes a lot more sense for you to start planning that Q1 calendar out. How are you going to tackle it? Now, depending on where you are in the US, your Q1 could be really slow because it's cold. It's winter. That's your time to get your training in, to get your CEUs in, to get any certifications that you want to get done. So make sure that when you're busy, in your busiest season, you're not overloading with trying to implement new strategies. Because as we're starting to plan out our year, don't get introduced to the shiny new penny. That's my biggest thing. There's lots of shiny new pennies out there. We all get caught up in them from time to time. I know I do. We all do. And you're like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I need to do it. And then what do you do with it, right? So it's our busy season down here in Southwest Florida. It's always quiet between Christmas and New Year's. We all know that. It's quiet everywhere. Although I did get an offer last night. Actually, I got 2 offers last night that I'm reviewing with my clients this morning. And it's going to be, running 100 miles an hour starting in the next week and going through to Easter for us. So I know it's not the ideal time for me to start doing my CEUs, which are due this year for us, for my team. So we know that we have our strategies set up. We have our landing pages set up for our clients. We have everything that we need to go and hit the ground running. If it's your off season, it's time for you to strategize and make sure how many senior living communities can I go to so that I can get myself established in a sense of, what they look. We've been talking about this for a while. You know what they look like. You know where their location is. So that when your clients are coming in and saying it's time for them to move, well, you know what the right, in a sense, you start having an idea of what the right fit is for them, and you can provide them options. You know, we're not going to provide someone an option that's 45 minutes away for them to go see. It's going to be outside of their doctor systems, most likely, their whole ecosystem. And I'll tell you a quick story. I have a client right now who had to downsize in senior living. They needed to downsize to a community that is going to be able to accept a Medicaid waiver. And it is outside of this client's ecosystem. Best thing I could say. So what's happened over the past weekend is she took her car out to go shopping, doesn't like to use GPS, is 86 years old, and got lost multiple times. So now the family is concerned about her driving. And they called me to tell me about it. And they said, we think we're going to take the car away. And I was like, they have resources for driving at the community, but maybe just put the car on hold for right now, not to take, she just moved, right? So she's got this life-changing event, getting to know this new community. It's a new location around her. So maybe not say, hey, we're taking the car away from you altogether. We're just putting it on pause until you get to know the area, which is a little bit better because it's all in how we present it. Now, they got multiple calls over the weekend from law enforcement in the area because she was very lost. So that's a completely different story. That is also, let's do an evaluation. Let's see if there's not a UTI going on. Let's see if there's not something happening with this client, right? With this seller that's out of the ordinary and where this mass confusion is coming from, right? And it could just be the move confusion, but we want to give them, like I gave them some directives to say, maybe you should ask the director of nursing about checking for a UTI, making just sure that, they're safe and that there's no other changes of condition that have happened. And it may be something that they didn't think about it. So he's like, oh, I didn't think about that. I was like, yeah, it might be time to just check, make sure there's nothing else going on. And so sometimes we all just need that helpful reminder that there could be something else going on, right? Which is really helpful. But as we go into 2026, and we are strategically setting up our businesses, we're getting our 5 pillars together, we're making sure that we are moving forward in the right direction for how we are serving seniors in our marketplace. I love you all, but a lot of you just came off camera and it's really hard to talk to just boxes, the black boxes. I'm like, it's really, really hard for me because my energy is off of your energy. But how many of you have your Q1 planned out right now? Anyone? How many of you have your January?
I've got January pretty well booked. I've got three speaking opportunities in January and 2 in February.
Fabulous. Love it.
So those are on the books. And I was just looking at that again this morning. It's like, okay, and I've got a month at a glance calendar and then a weekly calendar. And so I went in, and I'm color coding. It's like I've got to,
Yeah.
okay, that's speaking. I've got to be there and have my PowerPoint and, like, what am I doing in that activity? So yeah, I'm curious what so yes, I've got that booked out for
Yeah.
January and February.
That's awesome. I'm so happy. The biggest tip that I can give during this downtime that we have, I've spent the past week and I planned out for our team our entire social media calendar for the month of January. It's done. Everybody has it. I'm now starting on February. And Rose does, if you're a member of ours, Rose does a great calendar for that for us already, and that's part of um, our engaging content that we have. And there are ideas for you to use, and it's reels and graphics and carousels, and it's all done for you marketing that you can edit with your own branding. But even with that stuff that we have done, I need to make sure I'm layering featured listings. What's going on in our marketplace, right? Um, any new construction, because new construction right now, if you're not tapping into new construction within your market, there are a lot of builders who are putting in multi-generational living options within the new build for you. It's been done before, but it's been very hush hush, like Lennar has it, Pulte has it, GL Homes, Toll Brothers, Stock Builders, your big builders, right? Your nationwide builders that we have. And they have the plans, they have the options of an in-law setup already there with a separate entrance. And that's great stuff for us to promote, right? It's like, hey, thinking about a new home, have you thought about this? And so once a week, we're trying to take a look at that to see what's happening, and get that information out, which I think is really helpful within this marketplace, because there are a lot of people who are having their loved ones move in with them. They don't want to move to a senior living community. Their kids want, their adult children want their parents to move in with them. So what a great idea for you to figure out in your marketplace what's hot. Is it granny pods? Because we've all heard of those, or, you've heard of she sheds, but now they have like the same thing for your grandparents in the back of your home in a tiny home, right? As like a guest house on your property. Is that hot in your market? Is it converting a space to another dwelling that you can have a small kitchenette area in, similar to what senior living looks like, right in your home? So there's a lot of different options, and it's just a different way of layering it in, age in place options within our real estate business. Now, most of the time, some of our clients, some of our students are saying, well, if I do that and they sell their home, instead of buying a new home, they're just doing an addition onto their property, right? And so they're like, well, I lost, in a sense, I lost a second sale. Not necessarily. If you partner with builders that are CAP certified, who understand the age in place process, a lot of times, even with additions, they do give a compensation for you for that. You just have to ask about it. A lot of our builders in this area will do that for you. So it's just another, think about different revenue streams, right? And you're not going to know unless you ask. Have you all ever heard of that before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just another way for you to be helpful to your clients, helping them through the process. But how fun would it be for you to video or take photos on the progression of what this would look like, and now it's a case study for you on social media or your website? I'm always looking for ways that you can convert things into a story that you can tell on social media and give ideas to other people. So it's just a little tidbit for you to think of for 2026. Who has any last minute questions or thoughts before we
I have
kind
a
of
quick question.
yeah.
So there is a builder, and it's a nonprofit organization called National Church Residences. They are starting, or actually just broke ground on a new 62 unit senior facility. And it won't be done until they said 2027. But I would like to get in on some of that. I've reached out to National Church Residences before because they have like different senior communities throughout Columbus, but they are absolutely horrible at follow up or getting, like getting on the phone. So even though this building is not scheduled or due out until 2027, like I want to do some ideas of, maybe I'm going to post it on my social media, but as
Mhm.
far as I want to collaborate. How would you recommend, or some ideas of collaborating with? It's National Church Residencies, and they're partnering with a church called Trinity Baptist Church.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, like, where would I start to
Okay.
do, like, as far as collaboration?
Perfect. So if I were you, this is what I would do. And this is what I have done. I would find where their sales office is going to be. Now, the sales office might not be up yet. So if it's not up yet, I would go to the church, boots on the ground, and ask them. They might say, oh, the sales office isn't going to be ready until May of 26. I don't know. And so you're kind of at a standstill until you get to that sales office. Once you get to the sales office and you find who the marketing director is going to be, they are going to be selling what is called a blue sky. Blue sky is exactly what it sounds like. They're selling an idea, a concept. They'll have storyboards. Sometimes, the poster size storyboard. Sometimes they'll have a visual within there of a television screen or something that is going on, so they can virtually show them whatever it's going to look like. But they have to do a certain number of pre-sales so that when the building opens, there's going to be people who are moving in within that first month and then beyond there. So that what their process is, what it's called blue sky sales, is they're going to be doing cultivation events to get people interested to moving in. So you're going to ask them, what type of events are you doing? Where are you hosting them? How can I be a part of it? And how can I help support you get the message out? And you have to bounce off of what their idea is. The normal senior living process is they're going to be doing lunch and learns, like Taco Tuesday lunch and learn. They're going to be going to a place and inviting a mailing list of seniors to come to learn about this amazing community. And they have a huge budget when they do this. Now, you're talking about the National Church Residences, their budget might be a little bit different. So you might have a little bit of a different experience, but you just have to find out about it. And then from there, see how you can integrate and let them know you'd like to be a partner with them. And then how can they partner with you? So it's always reciprocal. And then you have to see what's going to work best for you and your business. Like, is it having your rack cards available? Is it a co-marketing branding piece? What does that look like? And you create that opportunity. I have done this with multiple senior living communities. And Blue Sky is the most difficult product to sell. People change their mind. They don't have a CO that is ready for people to move in when they say there is. And so it's the most, how do I say? It can be very rewarding, but it's the most turnover because they'll say, okay, I got 8 deposits today. But in 2 months, those people decided to move somewhere else because they had to. So now they're down to 4 deposits. So it's kind of tumultuous. However, once those doors open, you're established. You've had that. Now it's like you're moving 100 miles an hour. And you're getting these people, they're getting them moved in. One of our communities, they just moved 10 people in 2 weeks. That was like a whirlwind for them, right? So it's because that's the process when you sell blue sky. And until they actually see it, sometimes people can't visualize too well without seeing the four walls around them type of a deal. But that is what I would do if I were you.
Very well. And I just wanted to tell you and just give you a quick update because I know I haven't been on. So I visited another senior community. They are independent, assisted, and memory care. And I actually got on their board to start doing monthly probate. My first probate presentation is coming up in February. So I'm pretty excited
Woo!
about that. So thank you.
Frankie, that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. That's amazing. I know you've been working real hard. I
Yep,
love that.
I
That
was
is
I
so
was sweating
amazing.
bullets, but I did really good. I was able to sit and talk with the director, and just going forward, I'm motivated. I'm so motivated. So just wanted to tell you thank you.
That is amazing. Yes. 2026 is going to be the golden year. I just know it. That is so amazing. This is what we like to hear. It's like moving forward, ripping the Band-Aid off and just doing it, which is so important. I love that. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm like gushing with pride. This is amazing. Well, you're going to have to keep us updated as things progress too, because we like to hear those updates.
That's
And
great, Frankie.
yeah, Frankie's been with us for about a year now. So this is
Yep, I
amazing.
have.
And you have a full-time job. So you're killing it right now. Think about that. You did a great job. I'm so happy for you. All right.
I
All
have my
right.
business plan done, and I'm ready to go. So
That's
I'm going
it.
for
That's
it.
it. That's it. It's important. No plans get done unless they're written plans, right? We just can't wing it. And I have like an idea book where I write down my ideas because I'm a very creative person. And a lot of you are as well. And so I'm like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that, and it's sometimes overwhelming to say, okay, how can we implement all of that? And you have to set those timelines up properly too. So that's
I
really
have a,
exciting.
I have a
Well,
quick question,
friends,
Felicia.
yeah,
What does your wall calendar look like? Could you show us what that looks like? You said you've got a big wall thing. I don't know if
I'm
you
gonna
could change
try
your
and swing
camera.
around here. So you're gonna have to, I'm in the process of redoing my office. So don't hold it against me that my office looks like
I got piles of
a hot
stuff
damn
too.
mess. All right, this is my wall calendar. This is from Jesse Eisner's Big Ass Calendar. And I have just started with putting these on. Purple for me is vacation. This is a really big vacation that we're taking. Birthdays are yellow. Conferences that I'm speaking at are in orange. And now I have to lay in speaking engagements. I'm also going to layer in when I get a new listing and when I sell a property in a different color. So that when I look at my calendar, I know exactly what's happening and I'm not at a loss. So every month is a line and it goes through. And it tells you everything that you need to know. This is the first time that I'm doing it this way. Normally, I do, this is not very legible probably, but I do this. And this is like the address that I sold, what's the name, when I sold it. And then I also put on there who was my referrer so that I could look at, and I have them for all the years, for the past 5 years that I've been in real estate, I have them listed that way so that when I need to do a productivity report, it's already done for me. And I know who referred to me, and those are closed sales. Behind me on my whiteboard are all of my referrals that I have and active buyers and sellers. And then who referred to me for the year. Because to me, I'm very visual. If you tell me just to go to a spreadsheet, I'm like this. I'm like, oh, where's that spreadsheet? Did I update it? I just can't. It's too much. I need to have it like right in front of me. And then I do a different type of a vision board, which is like sheets of paper. And if you're a gritty girl, you know what I'm talking about. So this came from Girls with Grit. And then I have my life list on the side over here with my family for what I want to get done in my home for the year. And then travel, what travel ideas we have for our family and what goals we have. If you're not seeing it, it's not going to get done. I'm like very, very visual, but this goes back to the book, The Secret. It's the same thing. All the writers of The Secret, they all tell you the same thing that you have to do. So that's kind of how I get, and I'm in the process of, like I said, of reorganizing my office to make it more functional for me. Lock boxes, everything set up where I need it, grab and go bin for events so that I'm not, what do I need? Do I need scissors? Do I need a hole puncher? Do I need tape? Do I need packing tape, painter's tape? I even have a mini ironing board for my tablecloth that it just plugs in. It takes a real long time to heat up, but it does work. And then I have also giveaways that I'm going to be doing. And, what do those look like? And this week, I'm going to start for all the events that I have to do. Here are my baskets, and they're just grab and go baskets with my collateral inside. So that I make sure that I have everything ready to go. And that morning I'm not trying to rush to put a raffle basket together. So I'm really being intentional for being as organized as I possibly can. And when I do, just as the last tip, and a tip for you, Frankie, when I do events like this, I always bring a raffle basket with me. I partner with local businesses, and I buy gift certificates from them. Sometimes they donate some to me. So it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. Or product. One of my favorites is a local candle store that does essential oils. And her essential oils, she's working on an essential oil for memory care and aromatherapy, which is really nice. So, and it's all natural, which is important. And so we partner a lot together, and I make sure that I have that, set up. But I do the raffle basket, just like Corey does the raffle basket, because I have a little thing that in order for you to enter to win, you have to put your name, your information, and there's always a little check mark. Would you like to learn more about like a strategy session for us to meet? And that is how they enter in. It's your database to follow up with these people from too, on top of your RSVP list. But it's just another way for me to have something that's fun and exciting and inviting for them. So that's just a little tip. So I know we went over by 8 minutes. I want to wish everyone a wonderful New Year's Eve. Be safe, which is so important right now. It is cold here. I woke up, it's 41 degrees. So I am actually excited to pull out my New England clothing, my boots and things that I never get a chance to wear. And we're going to be outside tonight for New Year's. So I'm actually bringing my parka with me. Don't laugh at me in Southwest Florida with palm trees. I will take pictures of us in our furry parkas because it's going to be 41 degrees tonight, which is really cold for us.
Cold right now, yes.
Yeah, it's cold. Now. It's cold. So if we're going to be out all night, I got my fleece leggings. And our sweaters. And I told my daughter, I was like, we are going to just bundle up. And I'd rather be warm and have to unlayer than cold. Because one thing I hate being is cold, that damp, yucky cold. I'm out. And we're going to be on the water too. So it's going to be even colder. So I'm wishing you all a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. It is going to be super excited tonight. for everyone to make sure that you have your intentions set for 2026. One thing that I have been following is this lady, I'll get her name. Her name is Tammy. And one of the things that I'm doing, she is a professional coach, manifester, I would say. And one of the things that I'm doing from following her over the past, I would say, year is, let me get her name, Tammy Gomez, Tammy with only one M. And she's always talking to you about, manifesting and making sure that you're manifesting properly. Now, I'm going to take all my intentions, not resolutions, and I'm going to write them down. And I'm going to put them on a piece of paper and put it under my mattress. I know that sounds a little weird, but it was a challenge that came through. And I was like, you know what? Why not? It's stable. It's not going to move. And next year on New Year's Eve, I'm going to take those intentions out for what my goals are, my intentions, right? My manifesting intentions. And I'm going to cross off which ones came true. So it's a way for me to put it in a safe spot. And because I don't know about you all, but I have like 50 different notebooks everywhere. So how can I find everything? Or I'm like, I know I wrote something down and I can't find it. That's what I'm going to do. So I learned that from a live thing that she had done. And I said, I'm going to try it. Why not? Can't hurt. Let's see how well it works. So that's just my last little tidbit. But I hope you all have a great, great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And feel free to reach out. I'm going to be offline for the rest of the day. And I hope everyone has an awesome day. Thanks for joining today.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye, everybody.